100% chapter 3's colored cover page was mad misleading, because why have, and don't get me wrong, a lot of the time Boruto will have some characters on the colored cover page that has nothing really to do with the chapter, but considering we're in the 2 blue vortex area and territory, I was expecting like Himawari was going to show up and was going to do something. She showed up, so technically yes, she was in the chapter. It wasn't 100% quote unquote clickbait, so to speak, because Himawari is definitely present, but it was just like a glance of a moment of her showing up and seeing Boruto and Boruto seeing her. So I guess if that was the main reason why they put her on the cover, then hoorah. But yeah, it was still a little bit like, I thought this was going to be like a Himawari somewhat centric chapter, and the only thing was, hey, Himawari's on the battlefield and Boruto got to see his sister again, which is a big deal because Boruto's been away for 3 years, but it's not the biggest deal in the world.
Still moving on, still moving on. This is for my day ones. This is for my day ones. Come on.
Now, the Uzuhiko, which is one of the big things of this chapter, because again, a lot of this chapter was Boruto once again warning Code, saying, yo dog, you don't want none of this, homie. I am the real McCoy. I am the real deal. Don't play with me, fam. I'm giving you warning after warning. He gave him a lot of warnings, which makes me believe 100%, aside from everything else, aside from marketing and money and all of the other, capitalistic reasons why they wouldn't kill Sasuke off in this manga, ultimately, I'm thinking the way Boruto is moving around, the fact that he's not completely in an absolute rage to kill Code, it makes me think that Sasuke is still alive. Is he a tree? Because that's a very big possibility. The tree theory of he got turned into a tree, and maybe Boruto knows, well, he's not dead, he's a tree. There's hope. That could very be a big possibility. But also, the tree theory leaves a little bit to wonder, a little bit of questioning of, okay, well, why isn't he asking him to turn Sasuke back into a normal person if he is a tree? Like, the only question he keeps on asking Code is, where's Ten Tails? Where's Ten Tails? Where's Ten Tails? He's not saying turn Sasuke back or turn Sensei back or anything like that. So there's a high probability that maybe Code has nothing to do with Sasuke. Based on, again, the interactions that Boruto had with Code in this chapter, he wasn't in an outrage. He wasn't going nuts at him. He was pretty freaking calm. He was talking crap to him, and even when he had that little bending down moment where he, crouched down to him and made him feel like a little shrimp or whatnot, I gotta say, flat out, bottom line, and I know I said we're gonna talk about Uzuhiko, and we will, but I gotta say flat out, it's time to retire Code. Whoever is in charge of this thing, I know Ukyo Kodachi initially set forth utilizing the template that Boruto is basically like trying to model after My Hero Academia. And in that aspect is like, okay, so Code would technically be like Tomoda Shigaraki, and we've seen Tomoda Shigaraki's come up from a crumb bucket villain that nobody gave a crap about to, he's pretty high up there, and he's done a lot of crazy big things, for better or worse. Obviously, he's still a villain. But Code is like Tomoda would get his butt handed to him, but it would feel like within reason. It would feel like, well, he's kind of like on some first year type of stuff. Not that he was in class, but he was still like a rookie type of deal. It felt like with Code, it just feels embarrassing, because with Code, he is the only one. It's not like Kawaki is rocking with him underneath him. Kawaki is doing his own separate messed up, mean mission of what he's doing in Boruto, but it's just Code. Like right now, it's Code with I guess it's not just Code. Technically, you got the Ten Tails under him and Bug, which, what happened to Bug? You know what I'm saying? Where's Bug at? Bug dead? But ultimately, the only brains behind this operation on Code's side of things is Code. And the fact that he is getting manhandled, the fact that he is getting treated to pleasantries of warnings of like, yo, just stop, tell me what's Ten Tails, and we let bygones be bygones. That is just like Code is looking very, very bad out here. I ain't gonna lie. Like, we need the plot twist already where Ten Tails takes over, swallows him up, and powers up into like a sentient being of sorts. We need a villain to take over already, because Code is not it. Code is beyond bad, bro. Like, he's just, what are we doing here? What are we doing here with homie? Like, at this point, either Ten Tails come and absorb Code, or Amado show up and finish mustache twirling and be like, yo, I'm the final Otsutsuki all along. One or the other. We just, at this point, Code needs to get out of the driving seat. He needs to get out of the driver's seat. He is not the driver that can sustain anything. Like, imagine, like, all jokes aside, you watching this right now, tell me I'm lying. Stop me if I'm lying. Imagine right now if instead of replace Madara Uchiha and put Code in that seat. Or even Toby when he was running around with the mask. Or even Nagato. God damn it, freaking Zabuza. Imagine if instead of Zabuza being the epic Zabuza, it was Code. Or Madara. Take Madara out, it was Code. You would be disgusted. Naruto fans would have had Kishimoto's head on a freaking spike. We would have been just like, what is this? He's not even, you know what I'm saying? So again, because Boruto is technically a part, even though it's a sequel to a sequel spinoff, it's still within the realms of Naruto, and it's still something to look at and to judge and say, God damn, dog, Code, get up! Get up, bro. He just jumped in the neck of a freaking Ten Tails clone and ran away. On top of that, and now he's slowly dying. Essentially, Boruto infected him with a freaking disease of sorts. So now Code is slowly dying on top of all that. Code, get out. Just please, Amado, if you have a plan, strike it now. If we're going to have a whole new villain that we have no idea about just yet, bring him in already. Bring the cow. Do something. Just get Code out of here because Code is looking crustier than ever, bro. The amount of crust on this man, you would think he was the surrounding on an entire loaf of bread because homie is the crustiest man alive right now. I had to let that off because this chapter yet again is like, bro, we just got back from the time skip and you're getting your tail whipped and running away. You're the villain. Now, Uzuhiko, that's hacks. I ain't gonna lie. The new Rasengan that Boruto has, that sounds so hacks, using the planetary rotation in order to make the Rasengan extra, ultra, mega strong, and that it never, it's essentially kind of like a Materasu in a way, that is not gonna stop until the planet stops spinning or the person is dead. So essentially, it's almost like a Rasengan Amaterasu if you think about it. Which is kind of crazy because Amaterasu was already, nobody want to touch them black flames. I'm just going to burn you to a crisp. So the fact that he has an attack like that, how do you even mess with it? Because if he hits one person, anybody with a Uzuhiko, they better chop off that ligament of their body right then and there, or their entire body is going to succumb to these constant spiral attacks. Which is another thing that, again, how is Code going to get rid of this spiral attack that is on him non-stop? That is another very big factor. That is dope. Because let's be very clear, Naruto fans were upset and Naruto fans were disappointed when Naruto came back from part 1 to Shippuden, and the only thing he had was, my Rasengan ball gets bigger, fam. I gotta train again to get the sharp Rasengan, Rasen Shuriken. He pretty much didn't, like Naruto, and I always stand by this, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again, Naruto's training over those couple of years with Jiraiya Sensei was not really about strengthening himself up. Yes, it was a part of it, but he got his strongest tool from Jiraiya Sensei that wasn't about throwing hands, it was basically strengthening his consciousness. The fact that Naruto was able to talk all of these people off a ledge, like, yo, stop being bad, bro, listen to me. That was a tool that he got. Boruto's tools is something totally different. He may not be able to talk Code off the ledge. That talk no jutsu of Boruto's doesn't quite hit like Naruto's, but ultimately that Uzuhiko is a lot stronger of a attack than damn near majority of the stuff you would say that Naruto had in his arsenal, especially post part 1, beginning of Shippuden. What did he have that was on that level? He only learns Rasen Shuriken after the fact, and even then, I'd say Uzuhiko triumphs and destroys and demolishes what Rasen Shuriken could do. So what else do we talk about? Like Biju bombs? Sure, Biju bombs, I guess, would be somewhere in that ballpark, but Uzuhiko being just this non-stop force, honestly, it's crazy. Definitely, I'm very excited about it. It shows that Boruto is coming back into this time skip a lot stronger. And it's not just for people to come in and say, it was a waste of a time skip. We got nothing out of it. No. Look at what he just did to the main. He literally sent the main villain running away. And if it wasn't for Kawaki's punk ass, we would have probably finished Code right then and there. But Kawaki, as always, got to jump in the way. And the audacity. This man has so much audacity. Kawaki, your audacity needs to stop, homie. I'm going to tell you right now, dog. Because you talking about him being an Uchiha adoptee, when you was there sniffing Naruto's drawers, homie. You was there like, can I be Uzumaki too? Get your crusty eyes out of here. Don't be talking about that. Don't do it. Don't do it. You let Boruto rock out. He loves his sensei. Alright? Are you mad that you don't got an orange jumpsuit on? Is that what it is, homie? You mad they won't let you wear the Hokage cloak so you can pretend to be the 7th? Stop playing with my boy, bro. Boruto came back from that time skip too raw to allow Kawaki to come up in here and start talking. This chapter also leads me, though, to believe, because now Code is gone, they're probably going to either do away with the 10 tails or plot twists coming somewhere within that whole scenario of all those 10-tail clones or whatnot. More than likely, not another chapter or two. More than likely another chapter or two, shall I say. And whatever's about to actually transpire is about to actually transpire. And what I mean by that is what I've been saying since we started the Two Blue Vortex manga, and that's that everything of the way we see it is probably happening very quickly and right now, because the whole manga is about to change drastically. There's no way a series can sustain itself when the whole point and goal of Boruto at this point is beat Kawaki and tell everybody what happened. If he's already in front of Kawaki, that's setting up for either A, they're going to have a big battle right now, and we're going to be in store for another sort of time skips of sorts, or B, something is going to happen. Maybe Uzuhiko behind Boruto is going to suck him in and send him to another vortex. Something, pause by the way on that. Something is going to happen to separate them, because we're literally at a point of is about to be Boruto versus Kawaki throwing hands. Now, there's a couple of other options to throw in there as well, because again, you always got to still look. Are we still mirroring Naruto? Are we still mirroring Naruto in certain facets? Because if it is, then you could throw the argument, while technically, yes, this is like time skip territory, they're still playing certain beats of end of Naruto part 1. So you got to do a mix and a match, right? So potentially, this could either be two aspects. This could either be Naruto and Sasuke on that rooftop, where Sakura runs in and Kakashi has to grab her and stop them or whatnot. Or this is Final Fight Part 1 of Naruto, and Boruto and Kawaki are going to go full-blown at it, and then something's going to happen where they get separated for the time being, and so on and so forth. Obviously, if Boruto takes the L in Konoha, there's no way possible other than then we're going to have a Boruto rescue mission, and whoever is going to come rescue him has to break into Konoha, because realistically, Boruto loses to Kawaki. Everybody believes Kawaki anyway right now. They're going to arrest him and put him in the Konoha jails or whatnot until they figure out what's going on. Or, again, Kawaki's going to try to go for the kill anyways. So that's right there a potential possibility if he was to lose, which he can't lose at this point. So then where do we go with this? They leave the vicinity, they clash a little bit, and something happens. Let's not forget one of the biggest things that this chapter brought forth. I'm also thinking that with Himawari being on the field and the fact that they gave her that center or that, covered colored page, I feel like there's a possibility that if Boruto and Kawaki do, throw hands with one another, Himawari might play that part. Again, thinking mirroring part 1 of Naruto, which we still feel like even though the time skip started, it's still playing beats of the end of part 1. Himawari might play that role of Sakura, of running in the middle of the two of them, and then somebody's gonna have to come and stop her, and so on and so forth. Kashin Koji, you clearly see Boruto's talking to a toad. Chances are maybe year 1 Sasuke was no longer Boruto's sensei. Something happened to Sasuke. Sasuke maybe quit and said, I'm done being a shinobi, and maybe he's been secretly visiting Sakura this entire time or something in that ballpark. But Boruto more than likely has been, at the very least, I'm gonna say maybe 2 years with Kashin Koji, potentially. Kashin Koji, if he is a Jiraiya clone, then he probably already had some sort of affiliation or relation or conversations, or he was able to quickly tap in with the Toads of Mount Miyaboku, and that's where the connection is going to be, where, okay, boom, Boruto went with Kashin Koji, which will more than likely mean that not only does he have that Uzuhiko Rasengan, also potentially Boruto is walking around, maybe even with Sage Mode as well. Now, if we go in that separation thing that I was talking about, of a few people leaving with Boruto, it would be major, it would be huge, and it could also be, again, why they're setting up, putting that colored covered page for this chapter of Himawari, to let people know, no, she's about to be a big deal. Boruto is about to leave the Hidden Leaf Village. Maybe he's going to have to go back to Mount Miyaboku, and his sister is going to go with him, and he's going to have to explain to her the truth, or maybe he'll hold it back a little bit because he don't want to blow her mind right away. But I truly believe that that's also why they had to point out. They wanted to specifically let us know. They wanted it to be cognizant and conscious to us that Himawari is there. So whatever happens with chapters 4 and on is the fact that Himawari is going to be pivotal to these events. Like, even Sarada wasn't all that. Like, they had Sarada there in the cut or whatnot, but she really wasn't focused in on. It was mainly Himawari. So I really believe that the 2 Blue Vortex is also going to be standing for the 2 Uzumaki, which is what Vortex is a synonym of, and it's Boruto and Himawari, and maybe it'll be Boruto, Himawari, and Kashin Koji. And that'll be so crazy because technically Boruto will have been trained under the same sensei as Naruto, just, you know, a cloned version. And I ain't gonna lie, this chapter, it was a great setup. I'm glad that we got massive progression in terms of getting rid of this crusty, dusty cornball, just Code, get out of here. And it's fine to be a cornball, but not the type of cornball that Code is. Code is just like, golly, bro, why? I don't understand why. Like, I guess, like, the only way to showcase that Boruto has advanced is they felt like, well, just throw Code and show how much he could beat us. But we saw Code get dusted off against freaking Damon, a little kid, after breaking his limiters. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like we look at Code as the biggest threat anyways. Bottom line, after this chapter, it totally signifies not only is Code, at the very least for the time being, for a long time being, he's not going to be a credible threat or the final villain of any sorts, but also he needs to be removed already. They really need that plot twist of Ten Tails taking over, or Amado pulling a fast one, or a new Otsutsuki or two from the two that were in that freaking carving that we didn't like. Something's got to give. Code is not the final villain, nor can he play it any longer. At the end of part 1, it was already showcasing. The beginnings of part 2, you're still looking like that. You're still looking down bad. You're getting embarrassed by the MC. Where do they do that at, bro? Boruto right now has major Kagurabachi vibe. Okay, let me stop. I'm going too much. Crazy setup chapter. I will say that I would throw to a certain degree it is maybe a downside of, hey, the villain once again still looking dusty. You would have expected after this time skip, not only, the good guys and Konoha was going to level up, but you would ideally expect, okay, Code is going to have some sort of advancement and progression as well. But considering the fact that he's just getting smacked around, he ran away with the Uzuhiko, which is probably going to slowly kill him. Maybe they're going to kill him off. Maybe within the next 2 chapters, Ten Tails is going to make his move, swallow up Code, essentially, get a brain, so to speak, or have enough of a mind to be able to make decisions and whatnot. And that's where we're going to head. And then maybe Amado, because we still haven't even seen Amado after the time skip. So I'm wondering what's going on with him. But yeah, interesting chapter. Definitely built forth that Boruto is not playing around no more, homie. Boruto is strong as hell, that Uzuhiko, and God knows what else he got in his arsenal. Not to mention, again, the foreshadowings that Kashin Koji, more than unless that's a toad from somebody else, unless Kashin Koji is still in the wings and we don't know what's going on with him, and this has something to do with just Boruto himself went to Mount Miyaboku. Maybe Sasuke said, yo, dog, I got another place you could train, all right? I don't want to do that training no more. I miss my wife, man. Sakura's cheeks right now, you know what I'm saying? She's prime time. Maybe he just said, go to Mount Miyaboku. So there's a possibility it could not be, but more than likely, there's no way you're going to have a Kashin Koji introduced into the story and not utilize him for something as epic, awesome, and as fan servicey, which is what Boruto and Dragon Ball Super pretty much have been for the most part. So let's not play around, kid around ourselves. Boruto training under Jiraiya Sensei, in a way, is greatness. I ain't gonna lie, it's freaking awesome. Is what a lot of fans would love to see, but it's not necessarily Jiraiya, because it's not resurrecting him. It's not Edo Tensei for the fans that are like, yo, I like it if a character's dead, leave him dead. I get that, but it's not a revival, it's a clone. So very interesting and different. Also ties in to even a filler, which is great. That time travel arc, remember when Boruto met the real Jiraiya when he went back in time or whatnot? That is so dope that I wonder if this was in the plans all along of eventually Boruto's gonna go train with Kashin Koji, and that's why they did that. When the anime returns, I would love for them to reference that filler arc, that special arc, so to speak, because that would be fire. We got progression, and that's the important thing. Chapter 2 didn't really provide much progression. We got progression. Code is gone. Boruto's about to throw down with Kawaki. We got the things with the toads. We got Himawari there with a spotlight. I'm telling you, if Boruto leaves his village, he's taking his sister with him. And yeah, overall, pretty dope chapter. I'm looking forward to kind of wrapping up these events so we can get to the actual manga, because we got to be honest with ourselves. There's no way this is the story, because if so, story is about to be over. You know what I mean? The story is Boruto trying to take down Kawaki. Boruto's about to fight Kawaki. It can't happen. Maybe Konoha's in its entirety going to just start surrounding Boruto, and he's going to have to dip off to Mount Miyaboku, and maybe Himawari's going to tag along, try to sneak with him or something. Something's got to happen. This isn't the finale by any means, unless Boruto is ending and it's just getting a small little spin-off, which I doubt. But what do you guys think? I've been rambling on for the last, 20, 30 minutes. What do you guys think about this chapter? How do you feel about the Toads? Do you think Boruto's been training with Kashin Koji? Was Sasuke, once again, with them talking about the tree stuff, is Sasuke a tree? Do you think that Himawari, she wasn't really important in this chapter per se, but they gave her that spotlight because she's about to be massively important? Are you disgusted and disappointed, or you're like whatever at this point when it comes to Code's character? And your overall thoughts and expectations for the future of the Boruto manga with 2 Blue Vortex chapter 4 and beyond? We're all excited for it. We're all waiting to see what happens, because clearly this isn't the finale of the story.
Thought it would have been, wish it would have been. Acting like I'm fine is getting harder to pretend. I said, thought you would have been, wish you would have been. Maybe I was wrong, it was me all along.